Hi, it's Sam Tolbert from Sound of Joy Music Services, and we're answering another viewer request, not for any particular song, but a indoctrination from the styles of music. I should read the request. Let's see. When you pick a song, just reading what it says, to show how piano playing has changed every 10 years from the 1900s to the present. Now, I wasn't here in the 1900s, at least not until 1956, and I certainly wasn't touching a piano when I made my immersion from my mom. But I got to hear some of the varying styles of music from my father, who was also a church musician, but he was a more of the gospel genre of music, but there were other, I'll call them learned musicians, uh, young ladies who were trained how to read hymnal sheet music. So I got to hear how they approached music. And I also learned as a young musician when they were on the organ and I was on the piano and they were playing the hymns exactly as written, how to chord behind the songs exactly as written. So I'm going to pick the song as I go to my work page. What a Friend We Have in Jesus. I'm going to put it in the key of G. I'll keep the chord app set to C. They're sort of similar except for where the F sharp is. And just give you my um, learned from hearing approach to how music that is a hymn. I believe What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Let me pull my hymnal up. Sorry about that. Everyone should have one of these in their repertoire. Let me adjust my camera as I have this conversation. I want to see what year was What a Friend We Have in Jesus composed. Okay, number 430. Sort of in a teaching instructional mode here. And written in the 1800s. Okay, so I guess 1900s, this is in that range. 1819. I'm looking to see who the composer was. And I don't see who they arranged by Valerie A. Foster. Traditional Celtic tune by Anne Lowry. Text, I guess this is our composer for What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Joseph M. Scriven. And actually, this song is written at two sharps in D. Nope, that's the wrong version. Thought it didn't sound right. Shouldn't be in D. There we go. It's in B flat. Okay, good place to work from. Let me rechange my app to F. So now that's going to bring it a little closer to the 1900s. No, still 1819 to 1866. But the text is still by Joseph M. Skirvin. My glasses are failing me right now because it's very small text. May also be sung to the song I Will Arise. So, What a Friend We Have in Jesus, written in the 1800s. If you're going to do it, as they say, by the sheet music, you can't see that there. I am a sight reader, so I can look at the original text, which was lyric music, notes from the 1800s, and I'll give you kind of an idea of how this song has morphed. I won't say every 10 years, but I'll give you every 50 years in the varying styles that I've heard people play it. So, let me see. I'm going to get the timing right. 4/4 time. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, and rest. 2, 2, 1, and so for 4/4 timing, again, I've put a ballad speed to this song when I get the chance to play it, and I always try to set that tempo with a verse and a chorus before people sing. So they'll get a picture of where I'm going to place it. Another musician looking at the sheet music will pitch it in the 4/4 time. 2, 3, rest. Continue. Sight reading. 2, 3, rest. Excuse me. So that's, in a sense, may not be note for note, but the melody is note from note from the 1800s when this song was written. So moving up to perhaps when I could recognize the song played by the women who were learned musicians, they pretty much stayed within that same format, but they would sort of give their, how can I put it, every musician interprets notes from sheet music, and they give it their own stamp to it. They may be a little bit more stoic. 2, 3, and. They continue. And then they put a little cadence on the end. Now, my father, who I will use as that next generation of musicians who didn't necessarily go to school, but who was, like myself, gravitated to the piano and to the organ through their family, he may have sat down and have just played it like a gospel song. Put the seventh in there. Now I'm trying to play like him because he still plays now. Don't tell my father that I did that, but I tried to emulate, because I do hear him every now and then sit down to his organ or his piano and hear him play his songs. He's not quite there melody-wise like I am, but he is within the context of the song chord-wise. So if you sang with him, you sort of keep his pace. Now, I'm going to come in from the early 70s, where I was now indoctrinated into the jazz sound, where I would look to create an actual ballad around that same melody. which followed the a jazz ballad standpoint. Now there are other songwriters who have taken the same song and have completely revamped it to fit their style. The first one that comes to mind is the late Reverend Timothy Wright. He took the song, put it into D flat, and turned it into what I call a pop gospel song. What a friend we have in Jesus. All of our sins and choir. He's the man. What a privilege to carry everything to God. Yeah, take it to the Lord in prayer. So he loved, this is the Reverend Timothy Wright, loved taking hymns and putting a pop gospel sound to it. So it's always a lot of ninths, 13ths, sixes in it, because I believe he put the vamp on the bottom. He's a friend of mine. He's a friend. He's a friend of. Friend of. So that was his tag on a hymn. Now, people may have frowned on some of the songs, but because it had a nice rhythm to it, which is what we like in the Pentecostal church, a lot of pastors overlooked it because they saw the response by the younger congregation. Now, those who were from the older sect of who want to hear it played like a hymn, they frowned. They frown. But the younger ones, and again, it was about encouraging younger people to come into the church and to take apart singing and ministering in music. You had to give them something old and then mix it into something new. Another version of what we have a friend in Jesus was done by, I'm trying to remember, was it Thomas Whitfield? I'm trying to remember his version of it. Oh, can't think of it. What was his version? I'm trying to remember the Thomas Whitfield version. I'm going to be a little long with this video because I want to be able to cover a lot of the of this question about from the 1900s to current, how the music has changed. Maybe not over 10 years, but over between 50 years, I would say. Trying to remember the Thomas Whitfield version of What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Is that it? Mm. I believe that was his version. What if I have in Jesus? Nope, I think I'm using the wrong song because so many other writers have taken that song. I even did my own rewrite of it, and I put it in a jazz ballad type of jazz ballad type. Never had it sung. Only thing I made was an actual recording of it, and I just kept it the same, but put like a little, cool jazz sound to it. If I stayed in the same key. I played it in a while. And then I changed the words. Everything, take it to the Lord and pray, pray. I'm in the wrong key. There it is. So that's my rewrite. There was another convention concert choir I was in, and that gentleman songwriter rewrote that song. Well, how did he write it? Maybe I got the wrong song in my mind. Again, so many people have looked at that song because of the lyrics, and it made it easier when you can do lyrics which have already 4 or 5 verses. This one has only 3 verses to it, and you just take the first verse, maybe even the second one, and then create your own approach to it. So the question, the differences between the songs from the 1900s up until now and the different approaches to it, it depends upon the skill set of the person playing. If you were taught how to read sheet music, then it's going to sound like the sheet music. If you were taught to read sheet music and visited jazz clubs, then you're going to put technique with the sheet music and introduce some jazz chords, and that would be the Tommy Dorsey era. That's the gospel sound. These 7 chords are in that. If you're from the era which I'm from, when the Walter Hawkins and the Andre Crouch were emerging with their songs, I'm going to borrow the same chords and the structure that they used in their songs, and I'll make it an actual ballad, bringing in the big band sound of the jazz infusion in which I was in as a youngster in a high school band. So that real big sound, like I say, I love taking a hymn and giving a much fuller sound by just adding the big band sound chords. Again, not taking away from the song. I know it's here, so I can resolve and then put in my 7th, walk it up, my jazz chord. Turn around. I hope I answered your question to the best of my ability. I like us to be challenged sometimes. Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services. If you like these videos, as I say, I'm working on another series, which I've just been throwing some bits and pieces out there. This one, though, did catch my attention. If you like these videos, please like, stop that, share, subscribe, and leave your comments. Take care now. Talk to you soon. Bye.